Sorry, I seem to have technical difficulties today, so we'll get through it though. Okay, number 10 is pretty easy. You just take the longest side is always c squared, and so if I was looking at the answer, which is 40, it would have to be set up as 24 plus 22 equals 40. Now make sure that you can these are all going to equal, so that's not going to be the issue, but you have to make sure that the a squared plus b squared equals c squared, so you've got to square root each of these to see if they work. Okay, let's continue on. So here we're looking at problem number 11, which talks about Bianca's backsplash in her kitchen is made up of square tiles, like the one shown below. The tiles are white and black diagonal stripes. Which of the following would help her find x in the length of the black stripe? That's pretty easy. It's just 4 squared plus 4 squared, and we're looking at the diagonal, which would equal c squared there. So this is going to be an easy test for you guys, I think. All right, number 12, you have to find the perimeter. So remember what that means. Perimeter just means you have to add up all sides. You have the side length of this. So what do you have to do? Find your two diagonals. When you find them, you're going to get 98 degrees. So that's not too bad either. I think I skipped 13. No, I didn't skip 13. You can find the missing length here. Just make sure you understand to set this up as 9 squared. Hold on, let me erase that. Sorry about that. You could set this up too, but you have to make sure to find that right triangle. So then that is 14 squared plus 9 squared equals c squared. So that shouldn't be too hard for you guys to set up. And let's go on to the next page. Okay, here you go. And I think I asked you to try number 15. I did. 15 is a cross section, so it's a little bit more difficult, but not much, right? Which of the following is closest to the diagonal length between A and B? So what we're looking for here is we're looking to find the diagonal of A and B. And this is a cross section, so we tried to do this before with kind of some of the IXLs, or not some of the IXLs, some of our problems that we had in Khan Academy. So if I'm going to solve this, okay, I'm going to set up number 15 a little bit easier for you guys to see. Okay, so I drew my own so you could see that. It's exactly what we have. We have 12 inches here, 6 inches here, and 8 inches here. Now, what I want you to see here is that this is actually, let me just get rid of that. This right here is 10 inches, and how do I know that this line right here is 10 inches? Well, I formed a nice triangle down here, if you could see that. And it gives me the Pythagorean theorem of 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. And so I have 36 plus 64 equals 100. And then the square root there, if I take the square root of 100, c equals 10. Why is this line right here important? Because if you could see this, and I'm going to try to draw this really, if I get the diagonal of this, that means I have my right triangle now right here. Now, I realize this is hard to see sometimes. You really have to think about it. And I'm going to attach a YouTube video that kind of explains this a little bit better, and he cuts through it. So here's my diagonal if I do that. So I'm going to clear this so you could clear all the drawings in there. Okay, so I'm going to draw the diagonal right here. Now, how does this work, right? And you can't see that because it's green. So I'm going to draw it right there. So we know that this is 10. This guy has told us he's 12 in the problem. And we have to find this diagonal now inside of it. And I think you can see it a little bit better there. So that's pretty easy. It's just 12 squared plus 10 squared, and that equals 244, and then c squared equals 244. We take the square root of that, and c there equals 15.6. so that's how you solve it. I realize that one's a little challenging, so I want you to try it on the test and see how you do on it. And we'll see. Maybe we'll count it for full credit. Maybe I'll count it for extra credit. Let's just try it on the test, okay? So let's go back to our paper. Okay, let's take a look at the last one, which is 19 and 20. In the graph below, point A represents Owen's house, point B represents David's house, and point C represents the school. Each unit on the graph represents 1.5 miles. That's really important to understand. So we're looking at point A, this is Owen. We're looking at point B, that's David, and point C is the school. Now, how many miles does Owen live from the school? So there's our first line, right? If I wanted to figure that out, well, I could do that. I could just make it again into a right triangle. The only thing I have to remember is that instead of counting by ones, counting these, I have to count by 1.5. So I would count them all up and multiply them by 1.5. Then, who lives closer to the school and by how many miles? So that's David at 6. So what you would do there is, let's clear this off to figure out, well, we know how many Owen lives because we just did that, so let's clear our drawings. Remember, this is the school, and point B is David, so he would be a diagonal. Oops, can't really draw that right there. Let me get it closer. Okay, sorry about that. So remember, B is David, and C is the school. So I'm going to draw my diagonal right there. Then I have to draw my right triangle. I'm going to start right there and then go up. And I just have to count how many spaces are between, right? So you could do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Remember, it's not 12 because we have 1.5 is each space. Okay, so that means that from here to here, we're going to have 18 because it is 1.5 each unit. So when we count up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I take 5 times 1.5. That gives us, this is now 7.5. Well, I know how to solve that. 18 squared plus 7.5 squared equals c squared. So that's 324 plus 56.25. Let's do that math. That's 380.25. I square root this. Once I square root it, I get 19.5. So who lives closer? David. By how much? Just take David. David's answer was 25.5 minus the 19.5. He lives 6 miles. Okay, there you go. And that's how you do number 19. Or number 19 and 20. Okay, any questions today? Come to tutoring. I think for today, I might give you a little bit of practice in Pythagorean theorem, and I was going to do IXL, but I realized that you guys didn't have IXL. So I might give you a little bit of practice in Khan Academy. Just check Google Classroom and I'll see what I assign there. Thanks, guys. And study for your test tomorrow. Study, study, study.